we're doing stuff. Mrs. Aubin, I will probably need the list of people actually that's attached to the pile of things. All right, for my friends that are at home, just to remind them. All right, so okay. This is going to be one of those days, isn't it? All right, it's not letting me share. There we go. I clicked on share my screen like 7 times. It was not interested in me sharing my screen today, I guess. Okay, it helps if I have my microphone turned on, then everyone can hear me. There we go. All right, so here we are, friends. We know that when we have a module that we have 3 units. There's 3 sections, right? We finished the first unit that had to do with our pourquoi. Finished our second unit, which had to do with learning about some different frogs and finding out about their adaptations and talking about how all frogs have some adaptations that help them survive wherever they live, right? So now we are going to be focused on, now this last unit helps us pull all of that together into what we have as a Freaky Frog book that we will have at the end, which will be a collection of our pourquoi and our paragraph, that your adaptation paragraph. It'll also have another essay in it. So today we're going to talk about what that essay will look like and how we will add it. And then eventually you'll also be making what we call a Freaky Frog trading card. And some of you already know about that already because you've been doing an art, right? Last week you guys painted your frog. My class this week is painting the frog. Remote friends, you are also going to be involved in having your certain frog that Mrs. Monroe is working on, so today you're going to get some more information about your particular frog than you already know. I know you know some things about your frog, but you're going to find out some more today. All right, so our learning targets are, I can use text features to find information efficiently about my freaky frog. And I can gather information and take notes about general facts about my freaky frog. So let's focus real quickly on what are text features. Who remembers what a text feature is? Lila M.
A text feature is something from the book that you're reading, and it's part of the text, and you read it, and you kind of like put it in what you're reading when you say it.
Okay, so you're on the right track. Can everybody, so my friends that are in the room, can you see text features at the top of my academic vocabulary board? It's green. Ellie, what does it say there so I can read it to my remote friends? Those are some examples, right? So a text feature is a special way that authors put some of their information in their informational text to help you understand it better or to find it better. And some of those examples were table of contents. Table of contents helps us find information that we need. Mr. Finn, did you come back from next door, or did you go next door yet? Or
She said I can head back because I already have my paragraph finished.
Okay, did you proofread it and edit it and did all those things? Okay, I didn't realize that you did. You do your checklist? Okay, then you're great. Okay, perfect. Excellent. All right, so I need you to have everything out of your hands done and to be listening to me, please. Put away what you've got there. Thanks. So table of contents, index. Index helps us find information. So Mrs. Harrison asked yesterday for some people who are finished. So I know Charlie Van Rickley had a good chance to do this, and Cooper as well, and Marin had a chance to look at some other frogs and find out about some weird other frogs that we know about. And so if I asked them to be able to find that certain frog and they couldn't remember what page it was, they could use their index to be able to find that page without having to flip through the entire, oh, where is it? I don't know. I don't have time for this, Mrs. Harrison. So the index is great because it has more specific pages. The table of contents is a great thing if you're looking for something general. If I was like looking, oh, record breakers, gecko feet. So it just gives me general information on what pages. And sometimes the table of contents only tells you like what the chapters are named. And so they are more broad. The index is more specific. Plus, we also have a glossary to help at them in the back to tell us what some of the words mean that are in bold. But we also have lots of other text features. We have headings, right? We have words that are in bold. We have words that are maybe in dark print versus that aren't necessarily bold but are darker than the other words. We have a lot of photos and pictures to help us understand what the author is trying to tell us. And even some of the pictures have what we call a caption. So here, let's see, I gotta be able to see myself for just a second here. Here, I don't know if you can see on in your frog book on page 54, they have a picture of Medusa. Well, if you didn't know what in the world is this weird lady with snakes on her head, what is that? There's a little section underneath that actually explains it. We call that a caption. The caption explains the picture, all right? So that you don't have to just wonder, what's that about? It explains it a little more fully. So we use text features to help us find more information about some different frogs. So if we had, so even though I told you what pages to look for poisonous, for the dart frogs, we gave you 2 sets of pages. But if you actually look under, let's see, where is it? If you look up poison dart frog, it'll tell you that there's actually more pages than just the ones that I mentioned. All right, because we just focused you on a couple pages, but if I look in the back under poison dart frog, I get even more pages in this book where there's a poison dart frog. All right. So the reason I'm telling you this and the reason we're going through this is because you're going to have to do that a little bit in the next couple days. You're going to have to look where else in this book is there maybe some information about my freaky frog, my glass frog, my Amazon horn frog, my water holding frog. Yep. And today we're going to start looking about how we take notes and about some general facts, because what eventually you're going to be doing is you're going to make a trading card. And when you're making that trading card, let me make this a little bigger, put it in present mode so you can see it better. This performance task, after you are an expert, you're going to use your expertise. You're going to create a book, a Freaky Frog book, plus you're going to have what's called a trading card. So think about Pokemon cards, think about baseball cards. It's going to be about that size, right? Remember how you had to paint that picture pretty small? Yeah, because it's going to go on a card. And on the front of the card, you're going to have your illustration of the frog, and you're also going to have some key facts about not all of the facts about your guy, but you're also going to score your frog. Your frog is going to have a certain score based on some certain criteria. Its color, its size, its camouflage, and if it's poisonous. And it's going to get points. You're going to decide what points your frog gets based on those things. And then we're going to play a game with those trading cards. And based on your score that your frog has, you are going to be able, in certain situations, be able to compete with other frogs and see, kind of like Pokemon, right? Where certain Pokemon things have better scores or have better abilities than other characters, right? Okay, kind of same idea. All right. So part of what we're going to be doing in that book is you're going to have your pourquoi. You're going to have your short just paragraph, and then you're going to have a 3 to 4 paragraph informational writing about just your one frog. You're going to be that expert. Plus, you're going to have a Freaky Frog trading card. So we talked about why in the world are we doing this again? Why are we learning about, do I really want you just to be experts on frogs? Do you think that's really my point? No. It's not actually. What did we talk about way at the beginning about frogs? Frogs are super important because they kind of give us an idea about how our environment is, isn't it? And we talked about the rainforest and how the rainforest produces so much of our oxygen. And if the frogs are suffering, who's eventually going to suffer? If they, us, right? Humans, because we need to have oxygen, and the trees also clean up the carbon dioxide. So we're going to become experts about frogs, not just so that when you grow up you can say, so I know about this frog. Go on Jeopardy and know the answer to, about the Amazon horn frog, right? That's not really our main goal. It'd be great if you go on Jeopardy and just happens to be about your frog, right? That'd be great. Chances are slim. But what is it really about? It's actually to apply your learning to help the environment, to help others understand there are these really cool creatures and we have to protect them and protect our environment so that when you guys grow up, there are still Amazon horned frogs, there are still poison dart frogs, there are still glass frogs, and so on. You want those to be available for your kids to tell you don't want them to be extinct by then. All right, so one of the things that you're going to do today is part of the task about writing your essay is you have to be an expert on your frog. You got to know everything about your frog. And part of what you need to know is what it looks like, its habitat, its predators, and what it eats. Those are the basics for today that we want you to know. Okay? Those are our basics for today that you're going to, and we also, so you will eventually write this big long thing, but what do we always do first before we start writing anything? We plan. Exactly. We plan. So today we're doing a little research. We're going to be doing some research for a couple of days before we even decide on how we're going to write our work. Okay? Because that's a lot of stuff and you have to plan so that we can be successful. All right. So the first thing we have to do is, so Mrs. Harrison is going to model how to do this essay, but instead of using the frogs that you guys have assigned to you, I'm going to be using the poison dart frog because you guys are already experts at those, but I'm going to be pretending to be the expert of the poison dart frog for my purposes, okay? So we're going to I'm going to read to you another source. Now, think about when do experts just use one source to come up with their information? Does that seem like a good idea? No. It's kind of like when you want to know the truth about something that's going on in the world, it's always good to have more than one source for that information because sometimes, especially when you're talking to friends, sometimes they tell you something or sometimes they're wrong. They're not lying to you, but are they wrong sometimes? They just don't know the right information. So sometimes it's best, and maybe they know some of the right information, but they don't know all of it. So it's always good to have more than one source for your information. So today, we already know about glass frogs, some information about glass frogs. We already know some information about Amazon horned frogs. We already know some information about our water holding frogs, right? Where did we get all that information so far? Out of this one book, right? Should we maybe have other resources than just this one book? Yes, because even though this author has a lot of great information, we should also, today we're going to give you some more information to be able to do that with, all right? So I'm going to do this poison dart frog thing. We're going to think about what we know, what's maybe new. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to use a note catcher. And then I'm going to give you some time to do the note catcher for your frogs. Okay? Pretty simple today. We're going to do easy kind of things. All right. So I'm going to get out of here for just a second because I want to be able to read it to you. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to use it to fill in my note catcher. Except for I need to get my dot camera going here. All right. Now, all of our dart frog information came from those 2 sets of pages, but there is more in the book. But I'm going to show you a different source that's all about poison dart frogs. Let me make it a little bigger so my friends at home can see. All right. Gavin, how's that? Can you see it pretty well? Yeah? Ben, does that look good? Besides it being a little slanted. How's that?
It looks amazing.
Want me to focus a little better? All right, let's see. There's, oh no. Oh, let me just for a second fix that. Let me fix that. Because that would be useful for you, I bet. All right, I so wish it would go back to the way it used to be, where you could do whatever you wanted when you came in. All right, so I'm going to read this part about poison dart frogs, and I want you just to listen to it because it's just my information, but that I need to learn because I'm going to show you how to fill up a note catcher. All right, so is that a lot different than the way we looked at it in the other text? Yes, this is like 4 big sections together. You guys had to piece together information from different parts. So I'm going to read it through really quickly, but I want you to see if you can catch as many ideas as possible here. All right. So again, here's my heading, poison dart frog. So that's, I know it's about my frog. It says humans and poison dart frogs. So this section is going to be not just about frogs, it's also going to be about humans. In the tropical forests of Colombia, native people traditionally hunt using blowguns. Ooh. These blowguns are made of a hollow piece of palm wood and shoot poison darts. The native people make these poison darts with the help of a special frog, the poison dart frog. The skin of the poison dart frog is so poisonous that it can paralyze and sometimes even kill anyone who touches them. To make their poison darts, hunters use a stick to hold the poison dart frog in place, and then they carefully roll the tip of the dart across the frog's back. Okay, so I'm thinking about what is that section about? It's about how humans use them, right? Does that explain why they're called what they're called? Yeah, so it really explains why they're called dart frogs, right? Why are they called dart frogs? Because the native people use them for their darts, right? All right. So is that more information that we learned from the other book? A little bit, right? In fact, I don't remember. I mean, they did say, you know, a little bit stuff, but I don't really. And we talked about poison dart frogs earlier, but our text has never talked about that yet. Yes. So the next section, predator and prey. The poison dart frog's only predator is the frog-eating snake. Bum, bum, bum. Somehow, the frog-eating snake is able to eat the frogs and not die. Is that new information? Yeah. Poison dart frogs are so poisonous, the poison can even paralyze a human. But don't worry, poison dart frogs that live in captivity aren't poisonous. Oh, let's keep listening. Scientists believe that this is because the frogs develop their poison from eating ants and mites that carry poisons. As the poison dart frog eats more bugs, it becomes more poisonous. And guess what? The people at the zoos and the people who keep exotic pets, do they feed, do you think, poisonous insects to those frogs? No, they feed. I don't know if any of you, I know that Serne has snakes and she has to get her food from the pet store, but people who I used to have a frog in my classroom when I taught in Seattle, and I had to get it crickets and mealworms. And crickets and mealworms, guess what? They just came from the pet store. Do you think I bought them poisonous things? No, I just had to get regular old crickets that they sold at the store and regular mealworms that somebody would produce at their, you know, they would have some people who would produce those. So the zoo does not give the poison dart frog poisonous food. So are those poison dart frogs poisonous? No, the ones in the zoo get fed regular things. It's only the ones in the wild that are eating those other things. So imagine, you guys know that when you eat more fruits and vegetables, you get more of what? Vitamins, right? And if you stop eating those, do you get those vitamins anymore? No. Is it the same thing with poison and the ants and the mites? Yes, if they eat them and they have poison inside them, they become more poisonous the more they eat. The more fruit and vegetables, the more what you get. Vitamins, right? So the same kind of idea. Yes, Max.
At my old school, the big school I went to, we used to, we had mealworms, and we would do like what, in a football, like what would they evolve into?
Yes. Kind of like at the beginning of the year, we had, so they could become beetles, right?
Like the little worm.
Yep.
Turned to a cocoon and became like a bug.
Right. It's a beetle. All right. So the dart frog is poisonous because of its food, right? All right. It isn't born necessarily. It isn't born poisonous. It becomes more poisonous the more it eats. All right. Did we learn some information that we hadn't had before?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. There are many different types of poison dart frogs that live throughout Central and South America. The frogs come in many different bright colors. For example, the strawberry poison dart frog is bright red. Is that information we already knew? Yeah. And the Phyllobates terribilis is bright yellow. Neither of these poison dart frogs worry about being seen by predators. So are they trying to hide? No. Instead, they make sure the predators do see them because the bright coloring is a warning sign not to touch. So yesterday when you were answering questions like why is a poison dart frog poisonous or why is it bright colors? Is it bright colors so that it can hide? No, it's not trying to hide it to anything. It's trying to warn everybody and say, hey, here I am. You better stay away, right? All right, so that's what they come in many different colors. They're not just yellow and red. Hold on there, Mr. August, for just a second. Let me just get this next paragraph. Protecting its young. Poison dart frogs do a lot to keep themselves and their babies safe. Unlike some frogs that leave their eggs after they are laid, the poison dart frog stays and is protective of its young. First, the eggs are laid in a leaf. Is that where they are usually laid? Think about that. Frogs. Where do frogs usually lay their eggs? In the water, right. Then when the eggs hatch, the tadpole climbs onto its parent's back. What?
How does it climb?
I don't know, but it's pretty cool. The tadpole climbs onto its parent's back and is carried to a tiny pool of water. The parents often stay and continue to care for their tadpoles, protecting them and bringing them food. Is that a lot more information than we knew before? Yes. Was it good to have two sources for our information? It was. All right. So the parents are protective. Now, is that how it is for all of them? All frogs? Definitely not. All right. August, what did you want to add to our idea there? Poison dart frogs are like caution tape. I like that. Yeah, stay out of this area. Stay away from me, right? I love that example, August. That's a nice way to do that. All right, so you're going to be filling out a note catcher for your frogs. You're going to get also another paper that looks a lot like this. My friends at home, all of them are attached to the assignment today, so you will read them as a PDF on your screen. Ben, are you listening, buddy? So you're going to get some more information about your particular frog, but it's attached to today's assignment. You guys are going to get it on paper. Okay. Oh, I forgot there's one more line on the back. So there is a back on some of your papers, but not all of them. And there are 2 pages on some of the PDFs. Some of them are not. The poison dart frog has many methods for keeping itself and its young safe. So it has a lot of things it can do to make it survive. All right, these are the categories you are going to work with today. Habitat, what it looks like. Hi.
You want me to let them keep working and I go over there? There's 3 left.
Because they're Miss Tracy's gotta go.
Or do you want me to stop them?
How close are we?
I'm getting there.
Okay, how about a little bit longer?
Okay, should I bring that over then? I'll do
Sure. All right, so habitat, what it looks like, predators and prey. That's what you're focused on today, okay? Is that everything we're gonna wanna know about your frog? No, but is that, if you're gonna be an expert, do you need to know those 4 things? For sure. All right, so we're going to think about what we know about, I'm gonna think about what do I know about, and I'm gonna look at my information. I'm gonna look here, I'm gonna look at my book, I'm gonna gather my information. So the very first thing says habitat. What does habitat mean? Where it lives, right? I'm just gonna write this here. You don't have to do anything yet. Where it lives. All right, so I go back to my text. In the tropical forest of Colombia. So I'm gonna say tropical forests.
What page is this?
You don't have to worry about it yet, okay? You're not copying. It's just my stuff. I'm modeling for you, Ben. You're gonna do this for your frog. I'm the poison dart frog, but you're gonna be a different frog. So I'm gonna put poison dart frog up here. You are gonna put the name of your frog. So nobody needs to be looking at this page yet, okay? You're gonna get there. So tropical forest. I also know it's Colombia. Are these things I'm gonna use, do you think, later in my essay? Yes, so I'm trying to just give that as many ideas. So it also says central, sorry, my pen did not work, so we wrote there. Central, South America. I'm having troubles today writing, apparently. It also said, so they are where? They are in the trees, right? Because we know that they lay their eggs in the leaves, right? So they live in the trees, right? So let me see here. I'm gonna bop back to I worked hard on this slideshow, so I really want to make sure I use it. All right, so here's my poison dart frog. I'm not gonna worry about my sources yet. I'm gonna have you guys write those later. So, but we will fill in our sources. So some things I could write. This is my example. Here we go. All right. Oh, loading. All right, so some things I wrote down in my habitat. Tropical forests, Colombia, South America. I might have other things I could write in there too as I'm reading. All right, the next section. What does it look like? What are some of the things I learned about what it looks like? It said a visual warning, and it was some different colors. Lennox, what do you remember about what it looks like? Yes, an example is perfect. Perfect. The strawberry one is bright red. I know, it has a big scientific name, doesn't it? And the other one was yellow. So is it just yellow, do you think? No, but I could write red, yellow, and I know it comes in other colors, but am I just using my source right now? Yes, this source. I'm writing down my notes for my source. Bright, and like Mr. August said, it's like caution tape, right? But caution tape usually comes yellow, but so it's not always yellow, but bright warning colors. Because those colors aren't to hide, they are to warn. First, yeah, this is serious business, isn't it? All right, so I'm filling in my form. My next section is predators. Who remembers? Does anybody remember what the predator was? So it said this particular thing is the only thing that eats it. Let's see who my friends at home, if anybody remembers. Anybody? Logan, do you remember? Logan, do you remember?
It's another frog that can eat.
No, it's not another frog. Not another frog. Jensen, you want to try?
Frog eating snake.
Frog eating snake. Very good. Good memory. Frog eating snake is the only thing that eats because it doesn't seem to bother it for some reason. So that's its only predator. All right, but what does it eat? So prey means predators, what's eating it. Prey is what it eats. So let's see, I just want to see if my friends at home are listening. Astria, What do you remember?
Bugs that have poison.
Bugs that are poisonous. Do you know what those bugs are called by any chance? Do you remember?
Mites.
Mites. Very good. And they also said there was another kind. So insects. What bird? What do you think? They are insects. Anybody more specific, Haley? So the other source, you are so right. The other source calls them what? Invertebrates. But so I'm just focusing on this source today. So I'm gonna write ants and mites. And I like how we're also going to say that not only do we have ants and mites, but I'm gonna write down they are also poisonous. So that I remember that's really why they are poisonous, is because of the animal, the insects being poisonous. All right, now you have another frog assigned to you. So your job now, in just a moment, your job is to think about and look at the new information. You're going to read the page I'm going to give you, and you're going to start to fill out page 70. So here, Ben, this is the page you want. Are you listening, Ben? Ben? Are you, yeah? Page 70 is what you need now. Okay, so page 70. So while you guys are finding page 70, I want you to look at my map, because all of your frogs are on this map. So when it comes to where are these frogs, I'm going to want you to write details, but I also want you to get a hint of where in the world, and really, where in the world is it? Page set, no, in your workbook, sweetie. Workbook, page 70. All right, where does your freaky frog live? So where do we live? United States. Do you see where we are? Do you see our flag up there? Do you see the arrow? Okay, so if you are, I'm the poison dart frog. So mine, it said, what country did it say that they came from? Colombia. We also know Colombia because in EL, in our first module, we had a book that came from Colombia, where the Biblioteca, right? Poison dart frogs come from there. Now, you might also be a water holding frog. That might be your frog. And I will double check. I'll make sure everybody knows what their frog is and give them their paper, and everybody online. Water holding frog comes from where? Australia. Wow. Is that really? Oh, darn. That's gave me my Amazon horn frog. So Australia is very far away, isn't it? But that's where our water holding frog is. And where does our Amazon horn frog come from, according to our map? It is South America. And a lot of it is in Brazil, because that is where Brazil is the country with much of our Amazon forest. So Amazon horn frogs can be also in some of the surrounding countries, but most of them are in Brazil. So when you open your workbook to page 70, you are going to say the very first thing is habitat, where it lives. Did I just write where the location was on my paper? I also said the tropical forest, right? And the trees, right? Do the Amazon horn frogs live in trees? So are you going to write that in yours? No, definitely not. All right. You can give the more information you give here, guess what? The better off you'll be later. All right, so I want everybody to open their workbook to page 70. I am going to show my friends on the remote where exactly they want to go to see all of the different frogs. So here we have, my friends, today's assignment is, where is today's assignment? Oh, I'm in the wrong week. That's not helpful. There we go, Mrs. Harrison, Wednesday. All right, in here, my friends. So Ben and Astria, you see here? Water holding frog, Amazon horn frog, and glass frog. So I'm going to make sure you each know which frog is yours. But when you open it, I want you, oh, that was probably not my best one because it was only one page, really. So the Amazon horned frog is only one page, but if you look at the glass frog or the water holding frog, you'll notice that it's more than one page. You're gonna read, and then you'll notice there's a little bit on the second page. Do you see that? You might have to scroll down to a second page. All right, so those are your sources. And all my friends here, I'm going to bring this around and get people to help me out here. But so I'm going to hand out these. So as soon as I give it to you, you need to start reading and then thinking about the gist as you're going along, and then adding to page. Already writing things down, I see. All right. Starting to write down things on page 70. Now, most of you already know, I'm going to double check with my friends at home if they know what their frog is. Actually, if you're a water holding frog and you know and you're in here, can you come to me and pick up your paper? Sawyer? Ellie, can you guys come here? It's hard to wear things backwards. All right. This way I don't get all dizzy. Haley. Bird. This is Haley. I already have your names on them, so hopefully you guys cannot lose these. These are super important. Nixon. Ryder. Actually, I'm going to get Ryder, we need Nixon, both of yours. If you do that first. Gabe. Okay, so we're on glass frogs. Gabe. Heather, come here. Quick. Madison. You know you're a glass frog, you can start coming up. Paxton. Paxton. Sunny. Paxton. Renee. August. Abby. I got Abby. Josh. Lila. Noah. Good job, coming up. All right, Amazon horned frog. You haven't called your name yet? Oh, I already. Oh,
I'm for glass frog. Glass frog in art.
Did you do glass frog in ours? Okay, hold on. Elena? Hold on. This could be a problem if you guys have different lists than mine. So Cooper, I have you water holding frog. So that's interesting. This is the same list you have. All right, you're gonna have to hold on then. Bye. Charlie, Connor, Amazon frog. Lucas, Amazon frog. Marin.
I'm supposed to be.
So Finn, you're on my list as Amazon.
I didn't even study it.
That's what you're doing now. What did you do in arts for this?
I never studied the Amazon more fun, but I am Amazon more fun.
Okay. I assigned, this is something that we assigned weeks ago. And that you guys didn't know until now, really. Robert. Yes. Robert, are you Amazon horned frog? No, not according to my list. This is the list I gave Miss.
Wrong in art.
So did you guys pick them on your own?
No, it's been radical left.
You weren't supposed to pick your own. I gave her a list, this exact list.
Yeah, like she told us the wrong one. Like Bird was studying glass frog, not Amazon horn frog.
All right.
I remember getting to choose my own.
You heard that chosen your own. You were supposed to choose the one that was on the list. All right. Okay, hold on. Just hold on for a second, guys. All right. Can everybody have a seat? Henrik, can you see where you're supposed to be? Abby, were you glass frog? Okay. So sit down and we'll figure this out. So somehow Mrs. Monroe gave them different frogs that are on my list. So for some of them, so I'm trying to figure out how to, or you would. All right. So Ryder, did I just say hold on? Okay. So we'll figure this out. So you need your certificate. So we need to switch, and that's fine. I just need to make sure that, whoever, are you Amazon?
So Haley,
Okay.
calendar wants to know what frog she is.
Okay, and I was just, so they were supposed to do that in art this week, last week as well, but I'll give you the list. Yep, and, okay. So I think I have everybody's paper at the moment. All right, can you stand up if you have the wrong, did you just tell all of them? Yes, that'd be awesome. So if you have the wrong frog, oh, Lyric, I've got, are you a water holding frog? Did you draw that in art? Okay. So if you have the wrong one, stand up. Okay, or at least the wrong one according to you. All right. What did you think you had?
I either had water holding frog, black frog.
How do you not know? You're drawing it in art every day.
Well, I got,
Which one are you drawing in art today?
Should I check with Miss Monroe?
I'm drawing the Amazon waterfall, but I haven't studied that.
That's what you're studying now, so go ahead and sit down. You're good. All right. Cooper, which one? You drew Amazon horn frog in art, and I just handed you the water holding frog. Is there somebody who's standing that's the opposite? Okay, no, sit. So are you standing? Then actually stand for me. So are you supposed to be water holding frog, you said?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be glass frog.
You're supposed to be glass frog.
That's why.
Okay, that's what you did in art. Okay, I have extras. I'm very confused, I don't know. I have a whole pack of extras that I put over here. Right here. I'll just, okay, so you're just gonna have to write your name on it, buddy, okay? All right, and you're sure your picture is a black frog? All right, and you are, I'll take that. Amazon, does anybody happen to have an Amazon accidentally? Oh, here, have Robert. Just put Cooper on the top. All right, what are you supposed to be? Amazon. It's a good thing I made extras. Woohoo! Go, Mrs. Harrison. All right, what are you supposed to be? As well? Oh, boy. The only problem is you guys are gonna end up, there's not gonna be the right number for our game. All right, what are you supposed to be? Amazon as well? You drew an Amazon one for us? Uh-oh.
So Mrs. Harrison, I'm worried that they don't remember.
So all of your ones are right there.
I
If
know.
you could double check
I
them.
feel like I should check with her because. what if-
Well, their actual things are here. We can look.
I can look up the one I do.
Yeah, right there.
Yes. Should I tell them real quick and do that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would solve the problem.
Okay, so if you are already, if you have the right one, get started on page 70, all right? If you are good, start, Mr. Cooper, I think you need to wait and have Mrs. up and check your picture real quick. And did I just change yours?
Can I just say it out loud? Okay, so Lyric is the water holding frog, that's correct. Gabe is the glass frog, and that's correct. Sawyer's the water holding frog, and that is correct. Elena is the Amazon horn frog, that is
Can
correct.
I write, what's that, Mrs.?
Charlie's water holding frog, that is,
Okay.
oh,
Are you-
see, here's the mess. Oh, so Charlie Cards did the water holding frog, and that's not correct. You had him as Amazon.
Okay,
Darn.
so what paper do you have, my friend? The right one now?
Charlie Carr should have water holding.
Okay, here, so you did the water, she said you're the water holding frog. You drew it, right?
This is the water holding frog, Charlie Carr.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, and then Marin,
Ren, did
you
you,
did the
okay.
Amazon horn
Amazon horn
frog,
frog,
that is
yep.
correct. And then Cooper is the Amazon horn frog, which is not correct. So,
Okay, so I gave him, yep,
yeah,
so he's good now.
all right. And then Josh Carter, water holding frog, that's
You good?
correct.
Okay?
And Henrik is water holding frog, and that is wrong. That should have been black, so he needs water holding frog.
Okay, he traded it in. Okay, go ahead and write.
And then
Okay, read your paper. You're supposed to be reading and writing.
I can't.
Reading and writing right now.
Frog, right? So that's wrong. She wanted you to do the glass frog. Somehow you did the inside. I'm wondering if they changed it on their own because they wanted to do something different.
They possibly could have, right?
Because some of them are right.
It's mostly, I noticed the ones from your class versus my class, but some of
Something
mine.
happened. So
Yeah, something
Paxton
happened.
did the Amazon horn frog and he was supposed to do the glass.
Oh,
So he only
but we have Amazon now, so we're good.
Everyone's good?
Well, I've changed based on them.
Amazon horn frog, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Who's the last one?
Max Fox got
Uh-oh.
Amazon horn frog.
Okay, so he's got water holding frog here.
He was supposed to be, but
Okay.
that's not what he did.
Yeah.
No, I actually.
Yes. It's okay, you need the Amazon horn frog, because that's what we drew.
No, Charlie, I remember me and Charlie did water balloon truck. He made a mistake.
No.
I accidentally wrote them.
But your picture says, your picture that you drew is the Amazon horn frog.
Ask Charlie. Charlie.
Okay, I'm just going by what this says, Amazon
Okay,
horn
my
frog.
class, from now
You have
on,
to
you
do
have to
Amazon
follow directions
horn
in ours. She told you what to do,
So
and you
you
guys
have to
chose a
do the Amazon
different
horn
one,
frog.
and
You
it
have to do
messes
group.
up our game,
Then
it messes up everything.
your little.
So I'm gonna talk to Mrs. Monroe and see what happens, but I have a funny feeling you guys decided I would rather do this, and that's not cool.
I accidentally wrote pencil.
That's the name
So
of
right now,
my-
we're just working on our own, we're independently,
So that's
because
not-
you have all the information, you
True,
can
the
do
Amazon horn frog, and he got it.
I know, you're right, but let me help you. Okay, so you're reading the pages under that, and you're filling out,
Madison also Amazon horn frog,
filling
and
out.
she's supposed to be the glass.
So there wasn't any before art, you guys didn't have a choice, you all did, you mean that one thing that you did? Okay. Right, so that wasn't the frog that you were doing in art. That frog wasn't supposed to necessarily coordinate with that frog. It was a new thing, we're learning new things. So it's okay, but, because nobody on those 2 pages had the glass frog, right? So just tell us what you got, you've already got it. So-
Robert did glass frog, he was supposed to do Amazon.
Okay, but he's got glass frog, so that's okay.
That's okay, and Sunny has glass frog, and she was supposed to do glass frog.
Good? All right, so everybody should be reading their extra source and writing their habitats. So just a couple of my friends just said, it doesn't say where the water holding frog lives, but did I just show you on the map where the water holding frog lives?
Yeah.
Where does it live? Australia. Where in Australia? Think about where, does it live in the trees? Does it live on the ground? Lives on the ground, so that's what you're gonna write. All right,
Where do we write it?
inside where it says habitat on page 70.
I'm already on where it was.
Excellent, we're moving on. Okay, so page,
I don't
you have to,
get it.
yes, you have, because it's here. And yes, as a group, we learned about this. We have filled out a whole page about the island of Hong Kong. Honey, you're not the expert yet. You're going to become the Amazon horn frog expert.
Mrs. Harrison.
So,
I'm
read this
doing it.
article.
I'm
Right
doing
here.
it, give me a minute.
Nobody has done this before, then it's fresh for everybody. You're drawing a picture of the Amazon horn frog in art, right? That's all you're good. Australia, oh, that's Australia. And now, doesn't it? Awesome. So this is a brand new thing then, we're starting a brand new thing. Everybody knows a little bit about all 3, but now you're being the expert. Yes. The paper is yours. You're gonna keep the paper, so if I have somebody else name on it, make sure you write your name on it, so Robert, write your name on the top. So on page 70, it says, my freaky frog is. Does everybody see that at the top? If you haven't already written what your frog is, write that in there at the top, okay? Yes, Noah?
Is a prey what it eats?
So prey is what it eats, yes, perfect. Predator is what eats it. Prey is what it eats. Remember how I put ants and mites for my poison dart frog? Yes, Lyric. So habitat, you're gonna say where it lives. So Australia, and then where in Australia?
I'm doing more.
Okay. Miss Astria, thank you for waiting.
Frog, am I?
All right.
It's in the chat.
So look in the chat. Mrs. Aubin listed them all in chat for you. Can you go look in chat? Sorry, I don't have them memorized. Do you see it there, sweetie? Okay, and then you're just gonna go and click, and that's gonna help you fill out page 70. Ben, how's page 70 going for you?
Page 70 is going good, but I don't know what the glass frog's predator is.
Ah, who eats the glass frog? All right, so if we look in here, it says predators and prey. So it says what they eat, and then it says their predators have a very hard time seeing them. This helps them survive. Their predators are the same as many other frogs. What does it say, Ben? Birds and, is that what you, there you, so go ahead and write that down then. There you go. You don't even have to ask me. Those are for all of you. All right, Mr. Max Steesberg, did you find out which one you were?
I put it on there.
Okay, perfect. All right. I figure he's not on, not our usual remote friend.
Jensen, okay?
I was just getting to there. Logan, are you doing okay? Getting page 70 filled out? Okay, Jensen. Jensen, can you unmute and tell me how you're doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, which frog are you?
Water holding frog?
Okay, and are you getting page 70 filled out?
Yes.
Perfect. Gavin, can you unmute and tell me how it's going? Gavin. Gavin. All right, I'm going to move on to Miss Haley. Miss Haley,
So when they're finished, can they
are you doing okay?
do their process?
Yep.
They'll be reading. I mean, they should definitely reread because we're going to use these a lot following in the next couple days.
So go back to your
So go back to your frog, both
about your frog in your frog book.
in the actual frog book. Find those pages that have, and see if you can add to your note catcher. See if you can use, where do you look again to see what page your frog is? Index or table of contents. Good job. We just talked about that, didn't we? So go back. If you are a water holding frog, look up and see what pages to add. If you're Amazon horn frog, look and see where. If you're a glass frog, go see if you can add some more information to your note catcher. My guess is you could add some details to your note catcher. Mrs. Harrison didn't write a lot of details in hers, but I bet you can write more if you use your other book as well.
Anyone needs help with the reading, I'd be glad to help you read some of the words.
Miss Haley, you doing okay? Haley Calendar, doing okay on page 70?
Yep. I'm almost done.
Perfect. Isabella, doing okay? Do you need any help with anything? No? Okay. Leo, how's it going, buddy? Okay, page 70, doing okay? Okay.
Hey guys, there's
Yeah,
a spot. If
I
you make
just
sure
told
you
them-
write that up here so that way we'll know which frog you are. and you
Yep,
won't forget.
you're putting that right at the top. Remember I said Mrs. Harrison said, please put my freaky frog is in the name of your frog. In there. Because it has it under frog. That's the frog. Amazon, you guys want right back here. Water holding frog, so you know what you're doing. So what could you add in here, right to right there? Because they told you what's another frog, write it up here. Good, water holding. Oh, that's right there. Well, Yes, you are happy about that. You can let me know. Yeah, that's great. Okay? Okay, no, but you haven't, but tell me what are some of the things that you can't just say they don't care. So they go in the car? No. Yeah, you need to write more specific things down, and you can get your file book out and have some information. Oops, this one? Oh, here it is. Absorb, ladder. Just like it has, right? So you write that down? You're right, you kind of crunchy, is it okay? Okay. Yeah, that one's your, that one's actually an M. You have to write that down. If you put an arrow, you might.
Mrs. Harrison,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm all done.
Okay, did you go back to the book, your frog book, and add some more details?
Yeah.
Okay, can you, here, let me. All right, let me. Okay, can you show me your work there? Can you, here, you can, I think I'll stop sharing and you can show me what you got there, my friend. Yep. Just a little closer. All right. Let me see if I can get a speaker view. Oh, there you go. Ooh. All right. So which frog are you, my friend? Haley, which frog are you?
Amazon horned frog.
Okay, so did you put the forest floor, that they live on the forest floor?
Yeah.
Okay, and near ponds?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, what did you put for their predator?
It said that they have no predators.
Good job. That's good. You did that well. All right, did you write down specific things they'll eat? Be careful because you can
No.
say, okay, reread in your book and look for specific things that they like to eat. All right, Miss Isabella, which one was yours? Miss Dun.
Glass frog.
Okay, all right. And did you write down what they eat?
Yes, they eat crickets, moths, flies, spiders, and even smaller frogs.
Very good. And what did you put as your predator?
Birds and parasitic flies.
Ooh, good. You got that in there. Nice job. All right. Excellent. Use both of your sources. Good job. All right. Okay, my friends. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap, just don't go quite yet, but I want to wrap up. Before I wrap up, I just want you to think about, I know some of you are still maybe not quite finished because you came in late or we had a hard time getting it worked out. No worries. But I want to real quick, think about our topics and our learning targets. Did you use any text features to help you find your information? I bet you did without even realizing it. How many of you use the bold sections to help find your answer? Did you use the heading to help you find the answer when you're reading? Good. Did you use the glossary at all? Some of your things have glossaries, don't they? So you could have used your glossary. How many people had to use the index to find their frog in their book? Okay, we're trying to use all of our resources, okay? Did you gather information and add it on page 70? Give me a thumbs up if you did. Give me a thumbs up if you used your sources, both sources, to fill in page 70. Okay, not all of us, but some of us, good job. All right, how can you apply your learning to other things do you think tomorrow? What did we learn today that we might be able to use tomorrow, Lila? All right. All right. Excellent. So Lila said that now we can use this note catcher that we have so far to help us piece together some larger work, right? Some larger things that we're going to do. Do you think this is the end of our note catchers?
No.
Can we make a whole essay off of what we've written so far? No, we're going to get more in depth. You're going to become more, you're going to increase your expertise. You're going to become even more of an expert as we go on. All right. So some of you who are like, I just got this piece of paper. I don't know yet. This is a lot of information. We're going to give you plenty of time to little bit by little bit to become your expert. All right. All right, my friends. Thank you so much. We'll see you. If you haven't filled out page 70, you're going to want to finish that. If you're good, then you are probably finished for today. And I will see you guys at I'll see you guys at Regent.
Bye.